Welcome guys to our series in Digital Forensic Lab, and in this series what we'll cover is extracting RAM memory from a live system. So we know guys that RAM memory contains volatile data that may serve as crucial evidence in presenting forensic artifacts in forensic investigations. So there are a couple of tools out there that we'll use to capture RAM. And what we know guys is RAM contains volatile data, which includes registry keys, some of the running processes in the system, some of the browser history artifacts, and so on and so forth. So for our case, what we'll do is we'll start our first RAM capture using our first tool. And the tool that we use for RAM capture is Belkasoft RAM Capture. If you guys want to download this tool, you can find it from the official website. I'll attach most of the links in the description so that you can download the tools. And once you download Belkasoft, proceed to extract the zip file and run the executable. So Belkasoft RAM Capture gives you the output folder path so that you can specify where you want to store your RAM capture. In our case, I have a folder created on the desktop, so we'll specify this folder. And once we're ready, we'll click capture to start capturing the RAM memory. So we give Belkasoft Live RAM Capture some time to capture all the data from the RAM memory. And as you know guys, RAM contains volatile data, which means in typical cases when you're conducting most of your investigations, then it's crucial to extract RAM before the computer is shut off. So this is very crucial in terms of acquiring the data. So as you can see guys, we have our RAM capture over here, and the capture was successful. And as you can see, we have a file created with a .mem extension. So this is our first capture using Belkasoft Live RAM Capture. And once you're done with the capture, then you can proceed to analyze with some of the forensic tools out there. The next RAM capturing tool that we're going to use is DumpIt. And DumpIt gives you an option to capture RAM memory in RAW format, unlike Belkasoft, which gives you the option to capture RAM memory in MEM format. So if you want to download or access DumpIt, you can access it from the official GitHub repository. I'll attach the link in the YouTube description. And what you can do is download the zip file, which will have DumpIt in the folder. So we have DumpIt over here, and what you do is just run the executable. And the first prompt that it will give you is if you want to proceed with the memory acquisition. So we'll select yes, and we'll give DumpIt some time to capture the memory. So as you can see guys, the capture was successful, and we have the output on this specified directory. The other tool that we're going to use to capture our RAM memory is Access FTK Imager. Access FTK Imager has an inbuilt module that can capture memory from live systems. If you want to download the specific product you can download it from the official website. I have it downloaded in my forensic lab, and what we'll do is we'll run the executable so that we can install access FTK and start our RAM capture. So we proceed to accept the terms, click next, then click install. Then we'll launch access FTK imager, and what we'll do is we'll use the feature where we can capture our RAM memory within access FTK imager. So click files, then we'll capture memory. So it gives you an option to capture memory, and we'll specify our destination path, which is data captures, then RAM. Then we can give the file name. In this case I'll leave it to the default, which is memdump.mem. Then in other cases, if you want to extract the page file, you can extract it using access FTK, but in our case we only want the RAM capture. So we click capture memory, and we'll give FTK some time to capture the RAM memory. So we have our third capture successful, and as you can see guys, we have our first capture from Belkasoft, our second capture from DumpIt, and our third capture from access FTK imager. So the next tool that we're going to use to capture our RAM memory is OSForensics, and similar to access FTK imager, OSForensics also has an inbuilt feature that can capture memory. So in order to download OSF, you can download it from the official website. Just search OSForensics. Then you can download it from the official website. OSForensics gives you a 1-month trial where you can utilize most of their forensic features. So the tool is free to download. In my case, I already have OSForensics downloaded. So what I'll do is I'll proceed to install OSForensics. Just accept the agreement, click next, 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 and install. So in order to capture our RAM memory using OSForensics, we'll utilize the memory viewer feature. So memory viewer gives you an overview of all the running processes, similar to dissecting a live captured RAM memory using some of the tools out there. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to dump our physical memory, and we'll specify the same folder that we created on our desktop. We can give it any name. In our case, I'll give it OSF capture. So we'll give OSForensics some time to capture the physical memory dump. And there we have it, guys. We have our RAM capture successful. And as you can see, guys, we have RAM captures from different forensic tools, and in most forensic cases it's advisable that you capture RAM using at least 2 to 3 tools. So I've showed you guys how to capture RAM using Belkasoft, using DumpIt, using Access FTK, and we have our last capture using OSF. And like I said before, guys, RAM capture is crucial in uncovering some of the live volatile data that may be embedded within the system when conducting your forensic investigations. So in the other videos, guys, I'll show you guys how to analyze some of these RAM captures, and with a focus on analyzing and extracting some of the artifacts from live infected systems and other digital forensic incidents. Thank you, guys, and see you on the next one.